fellow traveller, come closer to the fire. The valley grows colder after dusk, and stories are easier to bear when the wood is lit. Sit. Rest for a moment, friend. Tonight, we walk another forgotten path in Vale Sangora, a place where shadows remember far more than the living do. Let me tell you what I've found. I've spent the last few nights with Taurinus' surviving writings spread around this fire, their edges burned, mold creeping through the margins, ink fading like dying breath. But tonight, I found 3 more entries tucked between 2 broken boards in the ruins of a collapsed stable on the northern trail. I can't help but feel I was meant to find them, and that you are meant to be here. They paint a picture darker and grander than anything we've uncovered so far. Let me read them to you. This is Tome 4 of Albertus Taurinus, and I quote, "For most of our journey, we saw few traces of civilization. Shepherds' lean-tos, roadside shrines. One day, though, as we were nearing Vale Sangora, I noticed a huge stone block among the dwarf pines, expertly hewn and stained with flaking paint. It must have been a part of a monumental structure, rivaling the ancient wonders described by Antipater of Sidon. Amazed, I asked our guide where the block came from. In response, he just looked at me darkly. I offered to double his pay if he told me what he knew, but George refused. The people of the Carpathians do not like to discuss their secrets." End quote. I've seen stones like this myself, traveller, half buried in the black valley soil, too large to move, too deliberate to be natural. Their carvings weathered but not erased. Every time I run my hand across their surface, the stone feels warm, as though it remembers being part of something vast, something ancient, something that should never have crumbled. Taurinus' guide refused to speak, and the locals I've met since arriving here do the same. Every one of them carries fear behind their eyes. It makes me wonder, what collapsed here? Who built it? And why is everyone so terrified to speak its name? The next entry details Taurinus' arrival in the valley's capital, and I quote, "Having arrived in Svartrau, the capital of Vale Sangora, I gazed at its imposing cathedral and the mighty Greifberg castle looming on the crags up above. They seemed out of place here, at the edge of the world, miles away from the nearest town. Why would anyone settle here? The answer was simple: silver. The surrounding mountains were rich with it, and its cold gleam lured men like moths to a fire. The rocky slopes were pockmarked with mines' entrances, and the pickaxe's steady knocking echoed through the valley all day long, resembling a prisoner's rapping against the walls of his cell." End quote. Svartrau still stands, though I am yet to be welcomed through its gates. The cathedral tower listing to one side, its bells cracked and silent, and I assume that is Greifberg Castle looming above, watching the valley the way a dead king watches his tomb. But the mines are the true wounds here. I found one yesterday. The entrance collapsed, timbers rotting, a cold wind breathing out from a darkness no fire could warm. It's clear silver built this valley. Silver fed it. But perhaps silver corrupted it too. Well, shall we continue with our next reading? This sixth entry reads, and I quote, "Another thing which surprised me during my first days in Svartrau was the variety of languages I heard on its cobbled streets. Romanian, German, Hungarian, Hebrew, and seemingly innumerable Slavonic dialects I could hardly tell apart. Jewish traders struck deals with Tatar shepherds. Serb mercenaries drank beer with Czech miners. A veritable Tower of Babel, I thought to myself, with a smile. But then I recalled how that story ended, and my mood soured. While God, in his love, may grant us prosperity, he hates greed. What fate awaits this rich city, I wondered. What punishment?" End quote. A valley full of languages, cultures, trades, deals whispered in a dozen tongues beneath cathedral spires. But Taurinus saw something more. A warning, a fault line, a city built on silver and sin. And standing in Svartrau now, well, I can't yet paint that full picture. Fret not though, my curious friend. The answers will be ours someday. And so, traveller, our tale ends for now. I'll keep searching these ruins, reading these tomes, wandering this valley that never sleeps. And as long as the fire holds back the dark, I'll return with more. Until our next path, may stories linger like embers in the night.